Today on Under the Big Tree, we pay a visit to Noisebug in Pomona, California. So we're here at Noisebug in Pomona, California with Blake, the general manager of the store. Hey Blake, how's it going, man?
Very well, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Tell us about Noisebug. Tell us about the kind of things that you guys sell here.
Well, in general, I like to think Noisebug is just about unique music electronics. It's a nice umbrella term for what we offer, which ranges from keyboards, synthesizers, drum machines, desktop, all the way to esoteric, modular, and more. You know, just whatever catches our eye and whatever we fancy and we think is unique and worthwhile, we try and show that and make that available to everybody. That's wonderful.
I've never been out to Pomona, California before. It looks like it's a little bit small. You know, it's about an hour away from San Fernando Valley, where I was coming from. And so I guess the question that I have for you is, how much stuff do you sell here within the storefront, and how much stuff do you sell online?
Well, everything that's in the store is on the website and vice versa. Not everything is available to play with and touch, but they mirror each other exactly. It's a nice, unique collection of things.
That's wonderful. Can you show us a couple of things that you have here?
Point out
some things that you really like?
Yeah, most definitely. One in particular that's very unique and a lot of people have agreed with us is the Soma Labs Lierate. It's an 8-voice analog synthesizer, and it's more about droning and making soundscapes and sound beds. It's at a nice affordable price, and a lot of film composers and producers and electronic musicians use it for various reasons. Sampling it, laying down textures over a piece of music and beyond. It's imported from Eastern Europe and it's very unique.
Wow, that's really cool. I can see that it's got little finger contacts rather than keys or anything like that.
Yeah, so you bridge the connection and that turns on the voice.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Wow, I've never heard of that before. What else down here really piques your fancy?
Another one that I like, not necessarily rare, but the Studio Logic Sledge. It's an old workhorse. It's the black version. I love it. It's basically a Waldorf in disguise, but
wow.
it's great, and we really love that instrument here.
Can you get like old PPG wave kinds of sounds out
Yeah, there's lots of wavetable type of sounds. PPG sounds are attainable. Really great for people starting out and for people experienced. So
man, I love that all those big fat knobs. As my eyes get older and older and older, that
knob per function. Correct.
I dig it.
Let's see what else. Over here we have the Pixie by LB Designs in Australia. And
by LB, who make a lot of Sledge clones, right?
They're actually licensed Surge reproductions.
Excuse me?
Not even the dirty C word, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a reproduction of the Wasp, the EDP Wasp.
Oh,
it doesn't have the keyboard and it replaces that with a MIDI input, but it's very lovely and nasty at the same time, and a nice little attaché suitcase.
Oh, so cool. So it's really great. It's built for live performance kinds of applications.
Right, yeah. Very lovely.
I love it when you have something in which there's just, you know, a line out, headphones, and then everything else inside of it you can just play with and enjoy.
Let's see what else. Yomox Alpha Bass, very wonderful hybrid drum machine.
So digital control, but analog generated sounds?
Sound sources, I believe, are sample oriented, but with filters and VCAs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That always tends to be a really good combination. I remember back in the 80s trying to get the Yamaha DX7 to sound good, and the thought that I had always had was, this would sound so good if there was an analog filter on the end of it. Right.
So, I believe these drums are analog as well. That's the classic M-Brain circuit that he's had for a while.
Wow, that's cool.
And then lastly down here, always worth mentioning, is the Vermona 14. I believe this is even the last one we have. Was a very limited edition mono synth that they made, and highly sought after. And I believe the designer actually passed away, unfortunately. But they honored him by, releasing it anyways and showing his design. But yeah, very
interesting.
lovely.
The color is very reminiscent of a Roland SH-101.
Right.
I don't know if they did that on purpose or that was just the...
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
Interesting. So it's a two oscillator synth, everything built in.
Correct. It does have subs on both oscillators. So.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Shall we go upstairs and take a look at the modular stuff?
Indeed.
Okay, and now we are up in the amazing modular loft. We could spend all day up here just looking at everything. Blake, can you show us some of your favorite stuff?
Oh, of course. Right off the bat, more LB designs. We have these two Surge Paperface reissues, which were imported from Australia. They're lovely.
What's a Paperface reissue? I haven't heard of that before.
So the Paperface was the first iteration of the Surge circuits, and they were more elemental, simpler circuits, but also more vintage sounding as well. So, and what you might not notice about these is these are actually banana jacks. They're not, it's the Eurorack format, but all these jacks are bananas, not 1/8 inch. So
interesting.
Yes.
So then how does that work if somebody's trying to integrate this stuff into, a larger scale Eurorack system?
Some sort of format jumbler. He also makes these in Eurorack. We have a select few of these, our favorites of these modules in Eurorack format as well.
Oh, these are 4U.
No, these are 3U.
They are 3U.
They're 3U, but yeah, we try to confuse the whole world.
Well, you confused me, so wow, that's really cool.
We figured since they're self-contained systems,
right,
it's okay to have its own kind of proprietary, if you want to say, banana jack. It's, the strange world of Eurosurge.
This looks like this one box looks like it would be a perfect live performance system all by itself.
And in fact, this is called the performance system.
Amazing.
So good eye.
Imagine that. Tell me about these guys. I heard you talking about them. I've never heard of analog systems before.
Analog systems, I don't know if this is controversial, but Doepfer and AS pretty much came up with Eurorack around the same time. I'd say Dieter Doepfer had a leg up and a few years before, but both in the mid to late 90s, Doepfer and AS created this kind of 3U Eurorack format. It's slightly different, but it's been around since the late 90s. It's been used on lots of records, lots of productions.
Are these modules compatible with Eurorack?
They are,
the same
yes.
size and the same voltage and all of that kind
Correct.
of thing? Oh, okay.
Yes. So this is actually some of my favorite stuff. I think it's some of the best sounding. It's a little more similar to large format than Eurorack as it is these days, because Eurorack is so much smaller than this. But really lovely stuff. The woodwork is fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It's really a high quality studio instrument.
So you would buy this instrument all of a piece. So it would come with the keyboard and the top unit, and then it comes with those modules specifically.
It's available that way, but you can configure a system any way you want. We like to offer both for people. So if they want to build a system, they can do that. If they don't want to spend time going down the rabbit hole and they just want to make music and delve into modular synthesis, then we have an option for that as well.
What does something like this run roughly?
I believe this, well, just the system without the keyboard is, I'd say 35 to 4,000, something like that. A lot of it has to do with the woodworking. If you took the modules out of the case and put them into like a 19-inch rack case or a, more affordable Euro rack case, the cost would come down. But the woodworking makes it a lot more.
Makes it a beautiful instrument.
Yeah,
I mean, it really all feels like it's of a thing, right?
Most definitely.
Just wonderful.
Yes. I know it seems like we're just going in a row, but I do like these ones as well.
All this stuff. I know so little of this stuff, so it's a wonderful education for me.
A2,
yeah,
it's a fantastic piece, fantastic sounding desktop. We used to have their big A4 semi-modular that looks like an ARP 2600 or something. And we loved it so much that we reached out to them and started importing their stuff from Italy. So this is a new addition and we're very excited to have it. It sounds amazing. Better than I would have imagined, actually.
Really?
Yeah. You can take this out and rack it in an MU case, and then this also becomes an MU case as well. So,
oh, wow.
So it's flexible.
And I see that it's got 1/4-inch jacks instead of the 8-inch jacks.
Yes, that is correct.
So Blake, what are these gray modules up here? I've never seen these before.
Yeah, these are ACL, Audiophile Circuits League from Germany as well. And yeah, we love stuff from across the pond as well as domestic, obviously. But they're just very high quality Eurorack, kind of akin to Schwayman or something of that level. Also noteworthy is the Surge Random Source,
which I absolutely love. I'm a big fan of Random Source and have done a couple of videos already on their stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's available in kit and assembled. For those who don't want to build the kits, you can buy them from us. Otherwise, you can contact them and get the kits, and it's lovely stuff. So. Other highlights, we love our Doepfer.
Of course.
We're a great source for Doepfer. Verbose.
Fantastic stuff.
Noise engineering, 2HP, Qubit. We love all that type of stuff.
Man, you've just got, this is quite a smorgasbord of the best stuff, from the esoteric to the common, but the common stuff is all the really good common stuff.
Right, yeah. We try and offer,
wonderful.
A nice selection. There's so much in Eurorack these days, it's hard to do everything anymore. So we've kind of resigned ourselves to just doing what we like and what we think people will like. So. Well,
I think, if you're an expert and I would imagine that people would appreciate the fact that you're curating it for them.
Right. It is very much curation.
When I got started, I didn't have anyone to help me, and I certainly made a bunch of poor choices in terms of Eurorack modules that either are sitting for me to sell or that I got rid of already.
Yeah, and that doesn't make them bad modules. It's just how do you know until you try it and, or with someone else's experience. So it's helpful to just be able to come and play these things or, bounce ideas off of somebody or have you heard of this? Is this any good? Or that type of thing. So, or more importantly, will this do what I want it to do?
Right.
What I need it for.
What my aesthetic is as far as electronic music, what I'm trying to get, am I a techno guy or am I trying to do experimental electronic music or am I trying to do Tangerine Dream sort of right down the middle of the field stuff?
Right, or do I want a whole case of random modules or do I want a more focused, subtractive type of thing or what have you? It's really all about what you want.
The only limit is your pocketbook.
That's right. One more fun thing, polyphonic Doepfer system. I think it's missing some of the newest polyphonic, but most of them are here. I don't think we've gotten the filter or the MIDI CV interface. But
solves the problem of not having chords in in a modular system.
Polyphonic Eurorack. And then here's what we really specialize in, which is in the large format and the Buchla format over here. So this is our free state effects black box filled with, a lot of the stuff that we love and that we you know, a lot of the manufacturers that we work with, some exclusively even. So
there are some exclusive modules, MU modules, that you can't get anywhere but here at Noisebug?
yeah, we have well, you might be able to get them direct from the manufacturer, but a lot of like Free State Effects, STG, and a few others we have exclusive relationships with where they sell directly to us only, and certainly no other stores. So
wow.
So certainly the only place you can come and try these things out.
Sure.
Noise Engineering made these at our request. I'm not sure where else they're available, but they're a lot of fun.
But they went to the trouble of taking their Eurorack circuits and repurposing them.
That's right, yeah.
For 5U. And, you know, obviously, as you know, it's not just a matter of slapping a Eurorack circuit into a 5U body, because the voltages are different,
right.
The ranges are different, and all of those kinds of things. So there's actually, you know, some re-engineering to take place to be able to make something like that happen.
Yeah, you have to retool the whole process. Yeah. So
cool.
Then we have our Moon modular 10-year anniversary system. And it's actually, well, it's not anymore, but last year was Noisebug's 10th anniversary as well. So that coincided with Moon. This is just... It's actually a semi-modular system, as it has some normaling behind the panels. It's got these routing summers, so it's a 12 input voltage summer, and each one of them has a unique destination. Wow. So between the two sequencers, you can really do a lot with very little patched up. It's quite amazing.
Well, and knowing how great the Moon modular stuff sounds, I'm sure this is just an absolutely gorgeous instrument.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, sound quality, user interface, the whole thing. In fact, I have a video up from the 2017, 2018 NAMM in which John Rice from your store went through all of the Moon modular stuff with me. It was wonderful. It's just really great. Yeah,
this is great, and it looks good next to your large format console.
Absolutely gorgeous. I love this notion. I love the notion of having beautiful wood being integrated in with these modular synthesizers, because it makes it not look like a cheap Tinker Toy kind of thing. It just adds this beautiful polish, you know, to the presentation.
As far as I know, this is one of one. So
wow.
I think more can be made, but it's its own thing right now. So
well, hopefully somebody on this, somebody watching this will so fall in love with it they'll get in contact with you and you know, take it off your hands.
Yeah, we'll work something out. So
okay, and then this is more Moon stuff.
Yeah, some Moon portable system. It can be used independently, but it's meant to be used in concert with Moog legacy systems such as the 3P. Or the sequencer complement B, and it has this CP module which interfaces between S-Trig and V-Trig and all of the proprietary Moog stuff that can be a little cumbersome when you're trying to work with the outside world.
Right. Makes sense. He didn't know when he was designing that stuff that
that it would switch over to...
there would be other people. And what do we have here?
This is our Buchla display right here, and we have our lovely 200E system, which very proud to have and talk about. We're one of two Buchla retailers in the US, Noisebug and Foxtone.
That's amazing. So I did a video a couple of months ago with Thomas DeMuzio, who has an amazing 200E system.
Lovely.
He took, you know, an hour and a half out of his life to sit down and really go through each of these modules.
Right.
And they're so deep and so beautiful. You know, I think it's one of these things where if you're going to be a Buchla 200E guy, that's what you do.
Right.
There's enough there to keep you going forever.
Oh, it's a lifetime instrument. I say that a lot. You just keep discovering just the possibilities with the sequencers alone. It takes months to really reach the depths of what they're capable of and to fully absorb how you can even use that or how you might even want to use that. And it's really amazing once you have the preset capability with either the 206E or the 225E, and then you start saving presets, and this whole new world of switching between patches with the gate signal, or having all of your patches saved and ready for a live performance. It's really, really amazing. And it's got a sound that's not necessarily easily replicated. There's a lot of Buchla-esque circuits in Eurorack, and they're more based off of the 200 analog series of modules, whereas this stuff is kind of its own beast, I would say.
Interesting. I remember in the I Dream of Wires movie, Richard Lanehart said how much he loves the Buchla stuff because of the density of the knobs and things. You can get actually quite a bit of noise and quite a bit of stuff happening out of each of these modules.
Oh yeah, the functional density is really, I mean, you could start out with just an oscillator almost and be wowed by what you can get with that. But really, you could start with, theoretically, with a 3-panel system.
Yeah.
We sell some 3-panel systems, and they're complete instruments. So, I mean, just imagine what a system of this size or even larger is capable of. You could build up a whole piece, drums, bass, 2 treble instruments and beyond.
And the Buchla company, though Don has passed, the company is still around and they're still making material, right? They're still making synthesizer modules.
Yeah, so the company that Don had, so originally there was Buchla and Associates, Don's company.
Yeah. And
then when he wanted to reissue the easel, he decided to turn that into Beamy, which is, I believe, Buchla Electronic Musical Instruments.
I see.
And that company was not bad, a little hit or miss sometimes. But then Eric Fox of Foxtone Music bought them out after Don passed and has really done a great job in, I think, preserving his legacy and making people confident in buying Buchla again. I don't think they were ever not confident, but there was some little problems here and there with a reverb on a music easel or something like that, or things just taking a long time to get.
Sure.
And now we can, almost get this stuff at the drop of a hat. It's really, really amazing. I mean, back in the Buchla Associates days, it would take 6 months, a year to get a system of this size, just because of how small the company was and just the nature of really creative and really brilliant designers and stuff. They're not always the best business people.
Sure.
I mean, why would you expect them to be great at everything? So.
Well, certainly not that. Certainly not a West Coast hippie like Don Buchla.
No, yeah. It just doesn't mesh. You wouldn't even want that, I don't think. Another interesting last thing I'll say is this module, the Kilpatrick pattern generator, K4816, is, after 7 years, we've commissioned Andrew Kilpatrick to do a second run. It's very exciting. It's kind of the antithesis of these really dense and cryptic esoteric sequencers.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a bit of that in its own, but it's also the type of thing where you can give it a clock signal, send out CV and gate to your tone generators and envelopes and what have you, and get going right away. So it's nice. And if you're, scratching your head a little bit with these ones, and maybe you just want some instant inspiration, instant sequences, it's really great for that. And it functions as a MIDI interface for the system.
Wow.
MIDI clock, and it's exclusive to us. So we're excited to have that as well.
I could see why. Well, Blake, thank you so much for taking your time. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap it up here?
Noisebug is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. No appointments required. I know it's a long drive out from San Diego and Los Angeles.
It was a pretty drive, though.
It's a nice drive. It's not too bad from LA, but San Diego, I get it. But we'd love to have you, and I think it'll be worth your while to come out here and check out some of this stuff that you can't see necessarily everywhere else.
Anywhere else. Thank you very much, Blake.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
So that was our visit to Noisebug in Pomona, California. My thanks to the wonderful, generous people here for their time and showing us everything that they have for sale. It's just incredible that they have Eurorack, 5U, and Buchla stuff all available for people to be able to come and play with and learn from. It's wonderful. You can find them online at www.noisebug.net. And if you're ever in Pomona, California, well, they are here. So that's it for this episode of Under the Big Tree. Thanks to everyone as always. If you like what we're doing here, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. For now, this is Nick, signing off.